Welcome back to Recap channel. The film is about a woman who is haunted by visions of murder. These visions appear to be connected to the first 8 years of her life, which she can't remember. The cast includes Annabelle Wallis and Maddie Hassan in the leading roles. Horror is a tricky genre, so it's hard to say if this film will be enjoyable for everyone. The plot of the film revolves around Madison, who is in an abusive relationship with her husband, Derek. One night, they get into an argument about Madison's previous miscarriages and Derek loses his temper, smashing Madison's head against a wall. This causes her to bleed from the back of her head. That night, a shadowy creature kills Derek and Madison finds herself in the hospital. Given there is no evidence of a break-in, Madison becomes a suspect. Soon, she begins having visions of people being murdered, and the suspicion on her only increases. The investigation soon reveals that Madison was once called Emily and was under the care of Dr. Florence Weaver. Dr. Weaver was treating her for a mental condition. The series of murders that Madison claims to have witnessed is everyone who once worked with Dr. Weaver to cure Emily. Emily was finally adopted when she was 8 years old and changed her name to Madison. Madison is contacted by a voice that calls her by her real name, Emily. This voice reminds Madison of Gabriel, her imaginary childhood friend. Madison begins to realize that Gabriel is more than just her imagination and starts to hunt for answers about what really happened to her when she was a child and who Gabriel really is. Madison and Gabriel are connected because they were born as conjoined twins that shared one brain. Gabriel developed supernatural powers, which included the ability to project thoughts over radio frequency. Dr. Weaver was trying to find a way to allow Emily to take complete control of her mind and body, but Gabriel was far too powerful. Left with no other choice, Dr. Weaver decided to remove Gabriel's physical body and seal a portion of his head inside Emily's. Gabriel became dormant after Sydney was born. When Derek smashes Madison's head against the wall, it wakes Gabriel up. Gabriel takes control of both Madison's mind and body, and that's why he faces backwards. The first person he kills that night is Derek. While we see Madison being attacked by Gabriel, that is only a false visual she experiences. Gabriel becomes dormant after a procedure is performed on him. Emily is adopted by a family who names her Madison. Gabriel begins to speak to Madison and projects false visuals to trick her into killing her unborn stepsister. He is unsuccessful and, once Madison's sister Sydney arrives, Madison no longer needs Gabriel. He becomes buried deep in her subconscious and 27 years pass. Serena May is Emily's birth mother. She was raped and was forced to take her pregnancy to term. In the process, Serena learnt that her 2 children are conjoined, and she considers them to be an abomination. Given Serena was very young and didn't want anything to do with her demon child, she gave away Emily plus Gabriel, who was later taken in by Dr. Weaver. Gabriel is killing everyone in Dr. Weaver's team, including her, as revenge for severing his limbs and organs and trapping him inside the deep recesses of Emily's mind. He does this by projecting false visuals for Madison, giving her the impression that she's inside her house. Then Gabriel takes over her body and heads out to murder one person at a time. Madison tends to break out of the trance Gabriel puts her in, which is why she suddenly sees herself transported to a different location and witnesses Gabriel's killings. That scene where she's doing laundry at home. It's only what she thinks she's doing. In reality, Gabriel, is in Dr. Weaver's house murdering her. Who is that lady that comes crashing down from the attic? Serena May, Emily and Gabriel's birth mother, is the one who has been kept tied up in Madison's attic. Gabriel has reserved Serena as his second last kill, the final target being Madison's sister, Sydney. But before Gabriel can finish Serena, she cuts loose and falls through the roof. The cops arrest Madison, believing she has kidnapped Serena. They believe Madison's motive to be that her treatment stopped working, and she blames her mother and Dr. Weaver and team for it. Madison is arrested and locked up with a bunch of female convicts. The ending of the movie Malignant reveals that Gabriel resides inside Madison, emerges from the back of her head, and takes control of her body. Gabriel is able to keep Madison in a state of trance while he goes about doing his evil deeds. Gabriel thinks he has successfully killed Sydney and Serena, but finally, we're shown that these are merely visuals that Madison projects onto him. Gabriel heads over to the hospital where Serena is after the slaughter at the police station. He finds Sydney lying on a cot and moves in for the kill. However, Sydney reaches out to Madison by telling her that Gabriel is the one who has been killing Madison's unborn children. This causes Madison to become furious and take back control of her mind. She then creates a false reality for Gabriel. If Gabriel could trap Madison, she realizes that she can do the same to him. Madison locks Gabriel up in a dark corner of her subconscious, telling him that she'll be ready if he tries to re-emerge. Madison also comes to terms with the fact that if Gabriel had super strength, then she would have those powers too. After all, they shared a body. With ease, Madison tosses the bed off Sydney, and they hug, and the film comes to a close.